What we're looking at here are basically old-fashioned, open-framed steam engines. This red thing is not a steam engine, it's a steam pump. It's got 2 pistons, 2 cylinders, so it's called a duplex pump, and it will take steam and directly make high-pressure water with it. The water can be much higher pressure than the steam because you'll have a much smaller piston for the water than for the steam, so you get a gear up or a gear down, however you want to call it. This has a partially enclosed crankcase. As you can see, we have the crankshaft here, and it is an outboard bearing. This is the connecting rod going up here to this slider thing. This slider doohickey thing is technically called a crosshead. It has to be kept oiled, and this slides back and forth so that this connecting rod, which pushes a piston back and forth, it has a relatively narrow piston, and so you need to have this crosshead slider to keep everything lined up, because you have a double acting piston, unlike modern automobiles which have a single acting trunk piston. And so this is a Toledo, this is a Stanley, that's a Stanley there. The yellow thing is a Black Staff launch engine made by a guy out of British Columbia years ago. Very, very famous. Some people do not think it's a good quality engine, but it's worth quite a bit. Here are 2 modern duplicates of the early engines that have the same kind of design. They have the D valve, double acting. They have the open frame. Here you have the crosshead is this round thing with a round thing that goes back and forth. And this was made in England for a kit car about 10 or 15 years ago. Kind of an interesting design. This is a better design that came out of 50 years ago in Southern California. They wanted to make an engine that duplicated the early Stanley engines, locomobile engines, except had modern bearings. The main thing this has is modern bearings. If you know what to look for, you can see a big roller bearing there, which is pre-lubricated. Otherwise, it's the same style. You've got the rod frame, you've got the crosshead slide here, you've got the double acting pistons, we have the steam chest here, and this is a Day Land engine named after the 2 people who made the original castings and design. It's a decent engine. It's just very old-fashioned, and because it's old-fashioned, here's something kind of interesting. This has the Stevenson reversing link, which is quite effective here. And very interesting, this is a way to reverse these. These engines did not have clutches or transmissions with them. Everything was done with steam. As mentioned, highly inefficient thermally, highly practical in what it does. By doing this, you can go from frontwards to backwards. Just by doing this, and you can change this while you're going full speed ahead. You can change it to full speed backwards. You don't break a thing. Nothing happens. It just slows down and goes the other way. So that's your Stevenson reversing link. So it was an eminently practical, very interesting, very old-fashioned design, but it is not what people think of when they think of a modern steam engine. Many people think that the only way you can make a steam engine is this design. Double acting pistons, crossheads, Stevenson link, overhung crankshafts, cranks. The overhung crank is enormously poor engineering because you got the little stub out there which will break off because the crank pin is not supported on each end like it is in a normal, well-adjusted automobile these days, where the crankshaft has quite a few main bearings supporting it. But it worked, so that's the beauty of it.